Hari Om, Namaste. If you have done all the right things, therapy, supplement, even yoga classes, but if you are still feeling emotionally drained or you are stuck in the cycles of feeling burnt out, the problem is not in your body and in mind. It's deeper. The ancient yogis have explained the human experience in 5 thought-provoking layers called sheaths or koshas. And unless and until we work and we know how to heal through all these 5 different layers of our existence, we cannot heal fully. And unless we know how to heal through all these 5 layers or sheaths, we stay in chronic loops of fatigue, disconnection, and false progress. In today's video, I will walk you through the 5 different sheets or layers or koshas of human existence and how to address each one of them and ensure that we are healed, we are connected through and through from the grossest layer to the subtlest of that. Hi, my name is Dr. Deb, and I am a Vedic Healer and a holistic health coach and your soul alignment mentor. I help early and midlife professionals to heal naturally, live a sattvic harmonious life, and lead consciously by the method of connecting to our soul calling or our ikigai. Come join me in this session today where I disclose to you about these 5 koshas and how to connect with them and heal in each one of them. And if until this point you have not hit that like button, subscribe button, and the bell notification icon, do so immediately because I don't want to miss any of these gems that I'm going to share with you today. And will offer you some ways that you can connect with me deeper and in a more personal way. Welcome to day 81 of 108 days of Surya Namaskara or Sun Salutations Challenge. Kosha means sheath or layer. In this case, in today's discussion, this will mean the makeup of a human existence, from the grossest to the outside layer of our existence to the subtlest, which of course it's not tangible. So these 5 koshas or layers, not only they are metaphysical ideas, but these 5 koshas actually represent the human experience in terms of the physical body, the energetic body, the mental, emotional, psychological body, the intellectual body, and the bliss body. So I will show you through each of these layers, first what they represent, then some of the symptoms in which they are actually giving indication of getting burnt out, and how we can address them through what needs in our day-to-day life. Let's go and have a walk through the 5 different layers of what make us up. First is the Annamaya Koṣa. Anna means food. So basically this is the grossest, of course I am discussing here from the grossest to the subtlest. In this case, the Anna means food, and Annamaya Koṣa means the layer made up of filled with Anna, food, our food body. Of course, that represents what we pick up from the pot. In this Pancha Mahabhutas, the 5 great elements, everything is made up of these 5 great elements. So this body is also made up of 5 great elements. Whatever we pick up and consume in terms of our Anna, food. Anna literally means rice also, but here in this case, it's food body. Whatever we consume as food, that's how our body will be. That's why I mentioned in yesterday's session, by the way, if you have not watched it, it's here in the iCard. In yesterday's session, I mentioned about Jaisa ho an, Vaisa ho tan, man and pran. However, whatever kind of food we consume, that's how our body will be, our mind will be, and our energy will be. So, some of the symptoms of our Annamaya Koṣa, we are disconnected in our Annamaya Koṣa, or it is not healed, or having imbalances, are, of course, physical imbalances, illnesses, right? It can be chronic, it can be acute, it can be the stress and tension that we hold within our body, the stiffness, these are subtle indications. For stiffness, especially in 2 areas, we hold the stiffness in our shoulders, like it's usually like this when we walk, or when we walk, or when we are just being, it's like this, hiked up, or it can be in our belly. We tend to hold our belly a little tighter. So lots of tension here and here. So these are just indications that our Annamaya Koṣa is having a disconnect with its how it should be truly when it is completely in a healed state. Okay, how we can address to this? We can address to these imbalances by having the right kind of food, or the sattvic food. Then we can address by having the right kind of sleep, or nidra, proper amount of sleep, right time, sleeping in the right time, and also by making sure our vihara, ahara is the inputs, and our vihara means our lifestyle is aligned with the circadian rhythm, right? This body represents the bigger cosmos, right? It's the micro version of this macro that we see outside of us. So whatever the rhythm of the sun is, if we can maintain that rhythm, like for example, having the largest meal, during our lunchtime when the sun is also at its peak, which means our Agni inside the body, the fire inside the body, the Jaఠaragni, which is the digestive fire, is also at its peak. If we can have that largest meal at the noontime, is one example of how we can align ourselves with the circadian rhythm. Okay, that way we will address our Annamaya Koṣa imbalances. The second body is the Prāṇamaya Koṣa. Prana means energy. Now, I should give you this example of a laptop device for these 5 koshas. Imagine the laptop itself, the hardware of it, the body of it. It's our Annamaya Koṣa, the grossest body. The Prāṇamaya Koṣa is basically the electricity that sustains power to it, that gives power to it, for which it gets turned on. The laptop is turned on, which means our body gets energy from this Prāṇamaya Koṣa. And what are the symptoms? How do we know that we are lacking vitality in this Prāṇamaya Koṣa? By always feeling tired, even after you are having 7 or 8 hours of sleep. Because This can happen because of our wrong choices of ahara and vihara in the first place that we talked about for Annamaya Koṣa. That will also affect our energy. Because if we are having too much of rajasic and tamasic energy kind of food, then our body will also reflect that energy within us, not sattvic. Sattvic is harmonious, pure balance. And also if we are associating with that kind of sangha, which drains our energy up, that's also when we will feel always tired up, even if apparently everything is seeming right. Okay? What will be some symptoms? Symptoms will be, we will be holding our breath tight, or we will be breathing in a very fast fashion, right? In a very chaotic fashion. It will be not smooth and long. And also we will always have attention. We will always be anxious, anxiety we will be feeling. We will be having energy crashes every now and then. Sometimes even after doing nothing, all of a sudden we will be feeling like we don't have energy. Energy means extra vitality. The enthusiasm will be lacking in that. Okay? So, some aspects to address that will be our breath work, conscious breath work. Every hour, for example, I talked about this deep belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing. Also in yesterday's video, do watch the day 80 video. When I talked about as you inhale, swell the belly out for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, and exhale for 4 counts. Belly comes towards the spine. Every hour, make sure you pause consciously wherever you are, whatever you are doing, and do this at least for 2 to 3 minutes to 5 minutes. That will make a whole lot of difference. That's subtle practices. And whenever possible, check whether you are breathing very chaotic and fast or you are breathing very deep, long. If not long, try to elongate the breathing longer than your normal. Okay? Just try to elongate it. So these subtle practices will change the quality of our energy within us. Now, the third layer, which is going inside from the grossest to the subtlest, is the Manomaya Koṣa. Manomaya Koṣa is for which we function. Our memories, our identities, our emotions, our desires, our wishes. Whatever we do by interacting through the 5 senses, interacting through this material world, all these colors that we have in the canvas of our being is the mind, right? So the Manomaya Koṣa, the mental sheet. The mental sheet you can think of in the laptop example. The hardware was the body, the Ānandamaya Koṣa. The power was the electricity, the Prāṇamaya Koṣa, the energy body. And now in the mental body, it's the apps, the different softwares for which you can do different functionalities in the laptop, right? You can think of the Manomaya Koṣa as the different apps installed within the gadget, within the laptop or your smartphone device. So I don't have to say that what are the symptoms of your Manomaya Koṣa lacking in its Manomaya Koṣa not being at its complete healed state. Basically having a fixed mindset. Remember, there is a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. I have a beautiful discussion here, community discussion about this exact mindset I'm talking about. Do watch it here and let me know what was the biggest learning from this video. So, growth mindset and the fixed mindset. When the Manomaya Koṣa is running low means you will be always thinking in a negative sense. Your naysayer wolf inside of you will be howling more than your go-getted wolf. Okay? No matter whatever is the situation in your life, whatever comes up, automatically your animalistic brain will kick in, meaning they will always apprehend the worst out of everything. Your mind will not be supporting you when you are trying to achieve something great. Okay? When we say, "Man mein main bahut dukhi hu aaj," bolte hain na? We say that I'm feeling very upset today. That will happen quite often. Sometimes it's always okay. I mean, it's all right. But if it happens more often than not, if we are spending most of the time in the day by feeling low in our mental aspect, that means something is going wrong. We will think, we will have overthinking, and we will have emotional volatility. We will have emotions take over us. Like it can be over anger, over enthusiasm, over pessimism, whatever kind of emotions that are natural to us, some or the other will kick in more than what is expected or than what keeps us stable and grounded. Okay. So one way to address this Manomaya Koṣa imbalance is You consciously say that every single morning you wake up, look at the mirror and say, I am confident, I am enough, I will, I can, and I am champion. And also look at the mirror and say, I choose peace, inner peace over peer pressure. Whatever I mentioned, pick up one or two that resonates with you and say it 21 times. You are your biggest cheerleader, as Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, also in sixth chapter, it's the greatest psychologist of the world, that your mind is the biggest friend, biggest ally of yours, and that same mind is the greatest enemy of yours. It's all within here. Okay, so do that. You address your Manomaya Koṣa. Moving on to the fourth and even subtler layer, the subtler Koṣa. It's the Vijñānamaya Koṣa. Vijñāna means Vishesh Jnana, special knowledge, or intellectual sheet. In the laptop example, think of it, the laptop now connected to a Wi-Fi internet, which means it's opening up to the infinite storehouse of knowledge and wisdom. So it's our intellectual sheet for which allows us to decide, which allows us to discriminate what is right and what is wrong. Okay, and when there is a lack in the Vijñānamaya Koṣa, what would mean is that we will be having a decision fatigue. We are so exposed outward. We are so much consumed up in our mindless scrolling. And I was talking about yesterday's session about having no boundaries with the technology, over-expressing, over-giving ourselves emotionally, opening up ourselves to anybody and everybody, not having clear boundaries to say no. When that happens, what happens? We will have a decision fatigue. We will not be able to decide when it's actually a time for us to decide whether we should take a venture or not. That will not happen in the right way. And also, we will take decisions which are coming out from that fatigue state, meaning the decision will be something that was probably not supposed to be taken. Okay? So these will be some symptoms when we know that our Vijñānamaya Koṣa is not working. And even more so, we will have some brain fog. We will not see things clearly as they are. The clarity, the clairvoyance, we will not have the clairvoyance because we will always have a brain fog. Our senses are too much occupied. Our buddhi is hijacked by our senses. If senses are run by the mind. So mind has taken over the buddhi. In that case, we are disconnected from our intellectual level. Okay? Making wrong decisions, not being able to see things clearly and all of that. Having a decision fog. One way to address this disconnect from the Vijñānamaya Koṣa would be take a journal and write every single day what are the 5 things that you are looking forward to. What are the 5 goals for today and also 5 goals 6 months from now, 1 year from now that you are looking forward to, that you are working towards. We have this goal in the clarity every single day. We are exercising that. And if you ask yourself, what are the directions that I am forcing my life toward now, which is not my inner yes? Write those things down. Write the short-term goals and the long-term goals in like today's goals that you are looking forward to and maybe 6 months, 1 year from now. And check if those goals are aligned with your inner voice of Ikigai. Okay, so journaling is an excellent prompt to have a check to connect with the Vijñānamaya Koṣa, with your intellectual sheet. Lastly, but no less importantly, it's the Ānandamaya Koṣa. The Ānandamaya Koṣa is the subtlest of all. What happens here is that, imagine in the laptop example, when the laptop, there is no power, there is just the laptop, there is no apps, there is nothing, no Wi-Fi, just the laptop being as it is. Yep. When we just be to the truest sense of our core, what we are, Sat Chit Ananda. The truth, the ever eternal truth, the Chit is the conscious self, and Ananda means ever peaceful. Imagine of the moments when, especially when we were child, it's supposed to be every time we are connected to the peaceful self. But because of today's rat race world, it's very little of the times we feel that pure joy just for the sake of being. For example, suppose you are an artist, you are just painting and you are absorbed in the state of flow, and you are engrossed in that bliss of just producing your art, not for your outcome deliverables, not for to impress somebody, but just you being an artist and doing your thing. Imagine if you are a singer, you are singing that. that song which is coming out from the deepest core of the heart. It will show up. But you are not concerned about, of course it will impress others, but you are not thinking about impressing others. You are just thinking about how you can express yourself the most, because that's the superpower God has gifted. So the Ānandamaya Koṣa is the moments of the time when we connect with our bliss body the most. Just being in that state of bliss without getting anxious by our physical ailments, without getting taken over by our energetic collapse, without getting taken over by our mental fog, without getting fatigued by the decision fog, or in clarity, non-clarity of seeing things clearly. If you go past beyond all these and just be and express whatever God has gifted us as our superpowers, and we are connected just to express that. That's our Ānandamaya Koṣa. And some symptoms of our disconnect will be, even if by the society's terms we are successful, we are saying yes and checking every box that society is asking us to, but inside we are screaming saying that no, stop, this is not what is aligning with you. This is not you. Come back home. Okay. So how to do that? How to address this disconnect? Connect. Ask yourself, what is one thing, two things, three things, or five things that you know you are God gifted, that you know that you have God gift, you have received as a God gift. You know you excel in that, and connect with that activity, whatever that is. Whatever. Connect with that activity for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes without thinking of any product outcome. Do that. And if that resonated with you, that activity, make sure you're doing it more often than what you have been doing in this. Okay? This is how I address your soul calling. Making sure whatever you are thinking, your thoughts, words, and actions are aligned with your ikigai, your inner calling. Okay? Do that activity every single day, even if it is for just 5 minutes. Okay? A way to address your Ānandamaya Koṣa and get a flavor, get a taste more of it. This burnout that I started with, this burnout, it's a multidimensional problem. For example, you can't solve like a spiritual burnout with a physical fix. For example, an emotional wound, it will not heal by a breathe slowly. Benefit. An emotional and Ānandamaya Koṣa peace body wound disconnect would not be satiated by a organic breeze. You have to address, you have to dissect all the layers of our existence, then connect, then address. And when we come home, what will happen is that when we heal through all these 5 koshas, look at ourselves as this multi-dimensional vivid creature, our body will exuberate with fitness. Of course, physically and inside of you, of course, you will feel the strength. People will see it outside, and inside also you will feel the strength. Your prana body, you will be always exuberant with energy, and people will be saying, what's wrong with you? Like, how are you so energetic all the time? Then the mind will be always having this growth mindset instead of the fixed mindset. And then your Vijñānamaya Koṣa, you will be able to see things clearly. Your intellect will sharpen and you will take the right decisions at the right time. People will come to you as their soul mentor. Okay? And also, you will be happy more often than not throughout the day, because you consciously choose to tap into that is what your superpower that God has gifted you, and you express that more often than just conforming with society, family, peer pressures. And this is what I call holistic health, holistic healing. And now, if what I discussed opened up your eyes, then I give you a task here in the link above to book a 30-minute free one-on-one discovery call with me where you and I connect, and we dissect your 5 koshas and analyze and see where exactly are the disconnects lie. And we make a personalized plan, clear-cut, personalized, step-by-step plan, how you can tap into all 5 layers of your existence, address all the disconnects, and make sure you're expressing your fullest potential. Comment me that what is that 1 or 2 koshas, that 1 or 2 layers in our 5-layer being that you feel the most disconnect today, and you are taking a pledge today to address that disconnect right away. Write me in the comments. I would love to see that, and I would love to connect with you sooner than later. Thank you, and I can't wait to see you again with another mind-boggling, eye-opening session on day 82 next. Take care. Hari Om. Bye-bye.